Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we are going to discuss the 2007 Walt Disney Pictures animated feature film, Meet the Robinsons. Technically, this was made by Disney Toons, I think. They did majority of like the Disney sequel straight-to-DVD films. The first one was in 1990, I think it was like DuckTales or something like that, or one of the DuckTales films. This was going to be like the primary focal point for the animation studios films for like the spin-off movies, specifically because of Toy Story. Now, before Pixar was sold to Disney, Disney owned the characters. So even if Pixar didn't sell to Disney, Disney was still capable of making future Toy Story films without Pixar because the characters are Disney property, copyrighted to Disney. I don't understand that whole type of litigation sequence within law, but I remember there was supposed to be a Buzz Lightyear getting recalled to Japan. Like the toy was getting recalled, so they had to send him back to Japan, and the toys were gonna escape to Japan to go save their friend Buzz. That was going to be that was going to be like Toy Story 3 or something like that before Disney actually bought Pixar. Fun fact, look it up. So, Disney Toons eventually closed in like 2015, something like that. So they did make a lot of films up until that time period, and then Walt Disney Animation Studio then continued on with the different projects because John Lasseter went from Pixar to Walt Disney Animation Studios, and then he stepped down for various reasons. I don't know who's in charge of it now, but a lot of things, a lot of fun facts in between. So, Meet the Robinsons came out March 30th, 2007. I was a junior in high school. I was obsessed with this film. You had Old American Rejects singing the titular song on the soundtrack, The Future Has Arrived. And to have AAR on it and Rob Thomas with these small hours, and like, it's not a musical, but like you have, just like in Treasure Planet, a lot of awesome songs throughout that film, so you have a lot of awesome songs throughout this film. Danny Elfman did the score for this. Jordan Fry is the voice of Wilbur. I love Jordan Fry. Jordan Fry plays Mike TV in the 2005 Tim Burton's Charlie and the Chocolate Factory with Johnny Depp. Incredible film. Have we talked about that film? I have to look at that. I have to look that up because I absolutely love Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I need chocolate every time I watch it. I watched it 9 times in the movie theaters. No joke. It was incredible. So Jordan Fry goes from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory to Meet the Robinsons, and like he's got all these great things ahead of him, but then he's like he's slowed down with an acting and he's starting to do it up again, and I want nothing but the best for him. I think he's like 3 years younger than me, maybe. I think he's like 28, 29, one of those ages. I don't know. So Meet the Robinsons is loosely based off of the book A Day with Wilbur Robinson, and very loosely based on A Day with Wilbur Robinson. You have Lewis, who is an orphan, and all he wants to do is see his mom. Like maybe she's the one, she still wanted him, but she like couldn't keep him. So then this kid Wilbur shows up at a time machine, warning him about a man in a bowler hat trying to ruin his science fair project, which turns out to be his first successful invention, but it fails because the bowler hat man and his crazy bowler hat named Doris destroy it so that way he can sell it to these inventors to become head honcho in town. So it's a lot of back and forth between future and this and future that. There's a dinosaur, there's a T-Rex involved at one point. A lot of it's Lewis versus the bowler hat guy, and then we find out that the bowler hat guy is actually his roommate Goob, Michael Lagubian, the entire time, because he was staying up late because Lewis kept making these inventions and he couldn't sleep, and he missed the final catch in his Little League game, and his teammates beat him up, black and bruised everywhere. This is a Disney film from 2007, encouraging violence. Good times. And then like eventually, once Lewis gets the hang of fixing the time machine and realizing he has to go back to the past after he talks to his future self, whose name's Cornelius, after he's adopted, and he makes sure Goob wakes up so that way he doesn't have to face the horrible fate that he has faced. And then Lewis gets adopted because the machine works again, and then the Robinsons live happily ever after. Wilbur turns out to be Lewis's son, actually. So it's fun at the end saying, "Hey, I never knew my dad could be my best friend." It was so cute, so cute. And he says, "See you later, Dad," up in the clouds with the time machine. So there's 2 time machines going around. Michael Yagubian is back to his happy self and he gets adopted, we think, because he's a happy kid now that he's, caught the winning ball. What's interesting so much about this film is it didn't do that well. Like, there was supposed to be a sequel, didn't happen. Like, this is a great film. The score of this is fantastic. Danny Elfman did an incredible job. You still hear that music play in Tomorrowland, in Disneyland, Disney World. You still hear that. You still hear that, here and there throughout Tomorrowland. And what's cool about it is that you had a panning of this, future city that Cornelius creates. And you got Space Mountain in the background, and it says Today Land instead of Tomorrowland. When I was younger, I didn't notice these things, but now that I've been to Disney multiple times, I've noticed these things. In 2007, I had never been to Disney yet. My first time in Disney World was with a school trip, my senior peer leadership class. We had a grand old time. We raised money, we went February 2008. So this was 11 months prior to me going to Disney for the first time and seeing everything for the first time. I remember my first time. I remember all my times. They were great. So I had this shirt from the Disney store of Meet the Robinsons, and it didn't fit me because it was a kid's shirt. So I cut the sleeves off and I made it into a vest. And I wore the vest my entire end of junior year. I wore it into my senior year. I love this movie. I honestly had not seen this movie in 10 years. And honestly, I'm kind of glad I didn't, because, it brings so much nostalgia back. When you miss something, you don't realize you missed something. And then I'm so glad that this was on my docket of things to view and record. The next following 4 videos are going to be about Disney films. And then we're going to jump into the spooky season movies. And I have more book reviews to do. And we have 20-something Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street films to go through. So we got a lot of things to discuss the next couple of months. But I wanted to do a nice, simple chunk of Disney happiness prior to moving into the spooky, scary stuff. I love Meet the Robinsons. I'm so happy I have the figures. My Christmas tree in my room each year that goes up November 1st because of Linda Belcher from Bob's Burgers, obviously. I take the Disney store figurines, like the figure play sets, and I wire tie them, and then I use them as ornaments. It looks so cool. And the Meet the Robinsons set was extremely hard to come by, but I found it. So happy I found it. And it was just so nice wire tying the figures and the movies playing. It's just all this 2007 nostalgia came flooding back. I absolutely loved it. What a great, interesting year 2007 was. By end of junior year, beginning of senior year. Good times. Meet the Robinsons, Disney Plus. Go watch it. Mucho mahalo.